I'm Mike.
I'm Jason.
Welcome to Snake Envy. We're going to do a question of the day, but before we jump into that, thank you. This past week we went over 1,000 subscribers. That's kind of the first hurdle on YouTube that everybody's looking to get to. So if you're a subscriber, thank you very much. If you haven't subscribed, please do. That gives us a good feeling and kind of tells us we're on the right track.
Feels like we're doing something.
Yeah.
Something good.
Yes, so thank you very much for that. As far as the question of the day, I think this is a great topic, and it's one that I think is a good one for our two perspectives, breeder, hobbyist. But our question is, to what degree in captivity are we trying to replicate nature? Is replicating the wild the goal, or is it something different? So as a breeder, obviously brumation, reproductive cycles, that's certainly
a lot of the cycles, yeah.
And that's replicating nature and giving them that same cycling. But beyond that, how important is it to you?
From what I'm doing now, I want to follow those, guidelines of time, cycles and stuff like that, but my cages are not visually at all set up nature for as far as naturalistic type enclosures. I do have hides, that's a natural behavior,
without a doubt. Deep substrate.
But yeah, we don't have streams and rocks and canyons to climb.
For me, I look at it two different ways. There's nature itself, which I don't think our goal in captivity is to replicate, because there's a lot of extremes, there's a lot of harshness, there's scarcity of water and food, and snakes aren't eating and drinking regularly in the wild. They're gorging at times when they do find meals. Back in the day when you and I first started keeping reptiles, we kept them way too warm. We didn't know what we know now. And we were really basing that on the weather outside. We were saying,
and when you're kids, you're not thinking that the surface temperature is way hotter than just the air temperature. And
you don't know about the burrowing and trying to escape, the heat of the day.
We didn't have phones where we were checking our temperatures all day.
Exactly. So we probably tried to replicate nature a little more back in the day, and it was detrimental to the health of the snakes. Today, what we're really trying to do is we're trying to take the good parts of their natural environment and behaviors and kind of temper everything into a very healthy range. So I don't think we're trying to replicate nature per se. If you want to get to a real extreme, predators in nature, if you want to take it as far as you could possibly take it, you just let your cat loose in the snake room and open all the enclosures and
have fun.
See what happens. Battle for survival. But obviously we're not going to do things like that. One thing I am trying to do, though, is I'm trying to create an environment where some of their natural behaviors can be replicated. So I'm a big believer in deep substrate for burrowing colubrids, and I see them tunneling, and I see the tunnel entrances, and I'll catch them periscoping out of the substrate, and those are real thrills for me. I love seeing when they're kind of acting like they would in the wild. My arboreal snake obviously has a much different enclosure than the rest of my snakes, and it's geared toward perches, and it's geared toward him being able to move up and down in his enclosure. So for me, it's more about behaviors. Varied diet. We talk about varied diets a lot.
It's a huge one.
I think that's another way to kind of replicate what's going on in nature.
That's a huge one that we need to replicate.
Yeah, I agree. Not just nutritionally, but kind of stimulating those mental and physical, challenges of eating different prey and getting used to different prey.
Well, tackling a bird to a mouse is so much different.
Oh my gosh, yeah. It's like watching them solve a puzzle when they eat a chick for the first time, trying to figure out which end's which.
Or watching them eat an egg.
Yeah. So we have a video on our channel of one of your bull snakes doing that. So please comment, let us know what you think. To what degree in captivity are we trying to emulate nature? There's a lot of talk nowadays about UV light and a lot of talk about highly cluttered enclosures and trying to emphasize their ability to hide. I'm not a big believer in all of that. I
get it. I get the concept of that, because it's like, you go walk in the forest, these things be hiding anywhere, 2 feet, each direction.
You're rarely going to see them out in the open.
I get the clutter,
but they're trying to get away from predators. They're trying to get away from the sun. And there's kind of a debate in the hobby now about whether we should be trying to replicate that big ball in the sky, basking lights. I see a lot of
light cycles and
interesting conversations on social media about lights, and people who are absolutely for them and people who are absolutely not using them. So let us know in the comments what you think. There's a lot of interesting, interesting topics on this.
Yeah, and getting to the light thing, if you had skylights, that would be pretty awesome, because you just have your natural cycle.
Yeah.
Ideally,
and
that would be pretty cool.
Yeah, I have a window in my snake room, and that helps. But I still turn on the lights during the day.
Yeah.
And emphasize it. My green tree python, who's nocturnal, he's got a bulb that serves as heat and light. It's on a timer, so he's got a definite day-night cycle. I turn off the lights in the evening about when his light goes off for the rest of the snakes. So they are getting some of that, but I don't do it in every enclosure, is the difference, I guess.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thanks.